Yankee fan, so you know I had to show that pride. I've already moisturized my skin, and I've also primed my eyes with my favorite primer of all time, which is Layin Low by MAC Cosmetics. So I'm just going ahead and applying that. Now I'm grabbing the Just Peachy Mattes palette by TooFaced and using the shade Peach Meringue to set everything in place. And then using Fresh Picked from the palette, and I'm using that as my transition shade with a Sephora Collection number 10 brush. Blend it out as high as you'd like or as low as you'd like. I tend to like my shadow a little bit higher because it gives me the appearance that I have larger eyes than I actually do. Then grab the shade Peach Sangria, also from the same palette, and just build it up. You really want to blow it out and, you know, make it really intense. I was channeling my Plum vibes in here, so I really wanted to deepen it up as much as I could. Once you get the desired intensity, you can use a clean brush and just buff out any harsh edges. Then using the shade Peach Punch, oh my gosh, I don't know why that was so hard. I'm using that to also just blend out any harsh edges as well. Now for this shade from Stila, it's one of their liquid eyeshadows in the shade Twig. I'm using that on the lid because I really wanted it to be more of like a smoky eye. I could have gone with a lighter shade, but I don't know, something about this shade just made me want to try it out. And it's like a nice velvety plum shade. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's beautiful. And then using the shade Just Ripe with a very small detailed blending brush, I am putting that between the lid color and the crease color. So just blend it out. And you really want to make it more of like a circular shape because that will give you the look of a smoky eye. So I really enjoyed this technique. And of course you'll notice that I'm also just applying it continuously. Then using the shade Chocolate Dipped, I'm also using the same brush and just intensifying that a little bit more. Also using circular motions and blending out any harsh edges that I see along the way. Don't be scared to blend or to add a lot of color on this look because it can get a little intense, but that's okay. We can just wipe it out just like we're doing here with the makeup removing wipe. Actually, I think I used a cotton round and my favorite remover. Then to make sure that the dark colors aren't affected, I'm going back with a blending brush in the shade Peach Sangria just to intensify the color a little bit more. Sorry guys if I sound a little nasally, I'm a little under the weather, but the show must go on. So going back to the eyeshadow, just blend it out and you should have something like this. Then I'm just filling in my brows like I normally do. I'm using the Benefit brow pencil in number 4, I believe, just to define my brows a little bit. This is a darker shade, but because the look was so dark, I figured it would be okay. Using the Color Wink eyeliner from Sephora Collection, I'm just lining my eyes as I normally do. I didn't want it to be too thick, and I also didn't want it to be too thin, so I found it like just the right amount right in the middle. And then moving on to the complexion, I used this color corrector from Makeup Forever, and I applied it just under the eyes, and then buffed it out with a complexion brush from Sephora Collection as well. You guys know that I love the Sephora Collection brushes. They really are some of the best ones on the market. And once I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and move on to my foundation. Now, I had completely forgot to record the primer, but I did use the Smashbox primer that I always use. I'm using the foundation from Huda Beauty in the shade Dulce de Leche, and you can tell it's super full coverage, so a little goes a long way. It's okay if it looks like I'm only one-dimensional because it is that full coverage, but don't worry, I'm going to add more dimension with bronzer, blush, and all of that good stuff. So I'm also blending it out with this Real Techniques brush that I've been really enjoying. It makes it really fast and easy. And you can see here, I'm like kind of scared of how maskly I look. I don't know, it's weird. And then using the concealer from BareMinerals, I am just using it to highlight and also just give myself a little bit more luminosity. What I love about this concealer, as you guys already know, is that it's super easy to blend, and even though the foundation was super matte, this just brings it a little bit, I don't know, more skin-like if possible, and the radiance that it just gives is phenomenal. Once I've blended all the concealer out, I'm gonna set it with my favorite setting powder, which is also from Too Faced. It's their, I believe, Peachy, something peachy, but it's their loose matte powder, and it's really great. And then I'm using this foundation from Maybelline, their Bareskin powder. I believe it's in tan, just to set everything in place. For bronzer, I used the Micro Smooth powder from Sephora collection in the shade Ebony, and I love the way that this blends out, especially when you just want to, you know, like a quick bronze. This is great, and it works really well with medium to deep skin tones. For highlight, I decided to use the Glow Goals from Ofra Cosmetics in collaboration with Nikki Tutorials, and you'll notice that I did this before I applied my blush, which I believe is in the shade Ghoulie from NARS, because I really wanted it to blend out together. So that way, if I had any harsh lines from the blush, I mean not from the blush, but from the bronzer or the highlight, the blush would tone it down a little bit. Going back to the eyes, I am just tight lining with the Makeup Geek eyeliner in Obsidian. I did it on the top and on the bottom, and I look like a little raccoon, but not to worry, we're gonna fix that. Then using the shade Peach Sangria with a pencil brush, I am just smoking that out so it's not as harsh, and it also adds more depth to the eyes. Once you've done that, you can either keep it as is, or if you're like me, you know that a wing just completes everything, so I did end up going back with my liquid liner just to add that wing for extra drama. And once you're happy with that eyeliner, then you can go ahead and apply your favorite lashes. I'm applying the Demi Wispy Studio Effects from Ardell, which are super easy to apply. I'm showing you guys how I applied one here, and it's like a quick version. I like to look down because I feel like it just gives me the best application. And once I've applied my lashes, I'm going to go back in with Peach Punch from the Too Faced palette and just blend out any harsh edges as well. As you guys know, whenever you apply lashes, you do want to go back in with any of the colors that you used before because lashes tend to change the look. So I'm going back in with the Peach Sangria from the palette and also using the shades Just Ripe and Chocolate Dipped to intensify those outer corners as well. My hair has a mind of its own, so it's always moving from like one side to the other, so don't pay any mind. Just like I also intensified the lid color, I used that Stila shade one more time just because I wanted that sheen to pop up a little bit more. And once I had applied all the other colors, I felt like it kind of got lost in the mix, so I just wanted to do that again. Using this pigment from Morphe Cosmetics in Champagne Nights, I'm just using that to highlight my inner corners and also my brow bone. And I love this color because it has such a pretty like pinky purpley reflex in it, but it's still nice and icy, which really captivates the eyes a little bit more. And super pigmented, I have to say. Then go ahead and just blend out any harsh edges between the highlight color and you should be set. Then to finish up the look, just going in with Half Red lip liner from MAC. Gonna go ahead and line your lips completely and also fill them in so that the lipstick lasts a little bit longer throughout the day. Especially with darker shades, you want to make sure that you do this, otherwise you tend to have very like discolored lips throughout the day. I'm also going to go ahead and use a concealer brush with a little bit of concealer on it just to clean up any harsh edges, because when you use darker shades it tends to be more apparent if they don't look as neat. For lipstick, I'm using the shade from MAC Cosmetics in the shade Rebel. It's one of my all-time favorite shades, and it just adds an extra punch to the lips. And it's so beautiful. It's like a beautiful plummy purpley shade. It's very wearable. And then just apply a little bit of blush to complete it to make sure that it's all balanced out. And there you go. That's the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it, as you can see. Until next time, comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!